known for the ability to do it all. I know mine does.
Mine
From cooking and teaching to tending to injuries.
You know, Chris, moms are also having an increased impact in the area of home business owners. Welcome to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Dennis Newbacher.
I'm Chris Bensing. Joining us is author, speaker, coach, and mom. She offers business coaching and teaching women how to work less, make more, and love what they do.
Oh boy.
Please join us in welcoming Lara Galloway to Celebrate Michigan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So do you have any time to have your own life without all this that's going on in your life right now?
Absolutely. I create a business that works smack in the middle of my life, so I get to have it.
How'd you get the idea to do this?
It started, they say necessity is the mother of invention, and I absolutely came from that background. I had kids. I had been working in corporate America. I'd been going to school for a long time, married. We decided to stay home and start a family, and I had been at IBM for a long time, working 60 and 70 hours a week right before I left, and then with my son decided to take a leave of absence. And I had planned, my husband and I had planned that I would stay home and raise the kids and do, you know, the whole works.
White picket fences.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it was, according to all the parenting magazines, it was supposed to be blissful.
Absolutely.
And it sounds kind of like a typical theme that runs through a lot of families. They want to do the same type thing that you're doing. So how, you took it to what level then after this?
Well, what I realized is I had a pretty high bar for motherhood. I had a pretty high bar for how to raise a family and how to take care and put my priorities first. But I was also kind of drowning in motherhood, and I really needed something that was an outlet for who I was and the creativity that I have, and using my brain. Even though motherhood's the hardest job I've ever had in my life and the most rewarding, it wasn't using up all of what I have. And that kind of led me to coaching. So that was kind of that drive. I got into it, and I started coaching some clients, and I found out that it was the thing that was missing for me, kind of like air, that I needed to grow and thrive. And when I initially started out, I went through a year-long coaching program. And when I initially started out, I only had a couple of clients because I really didn't know how to market myself very well. And even that was still really helpful. But what I realized is I didn't understand how to scale and grow a profitable business. I was a really good coach, but I wasn't a good business owner. And everybody that I was trying to consult out there in the world of professional people who are, you know, running internet businesses and who are really smart in marketing and that sort of thing.
You still needed to sell yourself, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I have to sell myself. Like this is what you buy is me. And that was, I mean, that's pretty confronting.
It is.
And I also just didn't know how to run a company. And so I kept consulting other coaches and other business experts.
Even by not being in the corporate world, you didn't pick up on that, working for IBM, how to run a company? It's different, obviously, I think, than running a big corporation than a home business.
I had a million people with PhDs at my arm's length. Yeah. I mean, I could call on them and they could help me at a moment's notice. But being a business owner, when you're in it by yourself, how do you market, do fulfillment, product development, research, customer service, customer loyalty, retention? Are you kidding me? Yeah. That's a full-time job right there.
Team of one as opposed to a team of many.
Exactly.
So thinking through your experience with running a household, being a mom, what lessons could you see that you applied to this next step of now I'm an entrepreneur, now I'm a coach, now I'm launching my own endeavors? How do you see those two things meshing, or were they two completely separate, mutually exclusive lives?
I was trying to keep them completely mutually exclusive, and that didn't work. So that was an utter failure. And the thing that failure taught me, because I was kind of drowning, I was not doing anything very well, and felt like I was always stealing time from my family when I was working, and I felt like I was stealing time from work if I was with my family. So I just had guilt all over the place, and I wasn't happy. The thing it taught me is I have to be a time management ninja. That is it.
I love that. Time management ninja.
And they say when you start your own business that it takes 2 to 3 years to finally see everything come to fruition. Is it similar in a home situation like you've started?
Yeah, and the business that, I mean, you say a home business, I do run it out of my home. I thought about having an office for a while, but it's all kinds of startup companies. You can start in a basement, you can start at a kitchen table, you can start in an office, wherever it is, you're still a startup. And a startup has a time where it has to mature and grow. And like I work with my clients and teach them that you're going to have to evolve your brand a few times. You may change your name, your logo, because if you're listening to your clients and your customers, they're going to be teaching you what they want more from you. And so, yeah, that did happen to me. I started out with one name. I developed into another after 3 years. because I learned some lessons along the way. It's kind of like learning to ride a bike, and I got pretty good at it, and I got gears. You know?
Yeah, well, you were in the corporate world. Sometimes you have to self-motivate yourself to get up in the morning and go to work and continue to like the fact that you're in the corporate world and they're running the show and everything's taken care of and your benefits are taken care of. I would think having the situation that you developed would require a lot of self-motivation.
Oh,
And you said discipline already. I'm assuming motivation, discipline, management. There's a bunch of stuff involved here, like you said, Chris. This sounds great, but it sounds like very hard work.
It is, and you're right. There are days where, just like in a regular corporate job, you don't feel like going to work, you're not particularly excited about it, and you still have to. And so that's some of the coaching that I do with my clients too, is how to get your motivation when you don't have it. When you are your own boss, there's nobody there telling you to get back to work. So how do you do that for yourself? And one of my favorite quotes that I say all the time to my clients is, really learn your priorities, really articulate what those are, and then let your priorities be your boss. Your priorities as an entrepreneur are your boss. If you are not spending time on the priorities you have written down in a business plan or on a vision board and on the goals that you have, if you're spending your time doing things that do not forward those goals, your boss is going to kick your butt. You need to be kicked in the butt. If you're not doing that.
There'd be a lot of distractions in the home, wouldn't there?
Oh,
that could be very, well, the family and whatever else is going on. I want to go out and clip the flowers, or I want to cut the lawn, or I want to paint something.
Laundry.
Laundry, there you go. Cook.
And I appreciate, I think, your vulnerability in saying, I was drowning. I was really feeling like, okay, how do I do this? And then now you're putting this business on top of it, and the lessons that you learn from both of those realms and applying those to each one. You know, I mean, it's not what they show on TV with, like I said, the white picket fence and there's the happy family, right? I mean, it's managing those things. And it sounds like
that's exactly that's my brand in a nutshell, is that I'm not going to give you a fast track $1 million lifestyle plan, take these steps and you'll get here. There's plenty of that out there if you're into that sort of thing.
I've seen it.
I'm much more honest and authentic. Like, my life and my business have to work together. They have to dovetail. They have to support each other. And there have to be some really awesome boundaries between them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for getting us started here. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to get more tips and tricks for moms creating a successful business. Stay tuned.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Sure great to have you joining us back here on Celebrate Michigan, where, by the way, you see in our audience today the students, I should say, from Southfield Lathrop with their teacher to learn more about what goes on behind the scenes here and on the set of Celebrate Michigan at Madonna University. So we welcome them here and we thank them for being here. I'm Dennis Newbacher.
I'm Chris Benson. Joining us today is Lara Galloway, business owner and co-author of Moms Mean Business, a guide to creating a successful company and happy life as a mom entrepreneur. Lara, tell us about this book, Moms Mean Business.
Okay, so that's exactly the funny stance that's how my co-author, Erin Babler, she got really tickled when the publisher came back to us and said, here's your new title. It wasn't the title we initially picked.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, that sounds good, because I'm really pragmatic. And I'm like, yeah, moms do mean business. I mean, we're starting businesses at the rate twice that of men. We bring $3 trillion impact into the economy. Heck yeah, that's big business. Erin's like, that's hilarious, because it sounds like you better watch what you're doing or I'm going to pull over this car, buddy, because moms mean business.
Don't make me come back there, right?
Let's backtrack a little bit. You know, I'm the man on the set here, or at least I think I am, but I'm the man on the set, and here we are. You're saying that you guys are so far ahead of the game here when it comes to home businesses and this aspect we're talking about. Why is that the case, and is that changing?
So, yeah, I mean, I think we live in a time right now, like women are starting the businesses, as I said, at the rate twice that of men. Why is that? Well, you know, we are leaving corporate America in droves. When we leave corporate America, we've got mad skills. They don't go away just because we decide to raise a family. And we have the abundance of really cool, cheap technology right now that makes entrepreneurship like so fabulous, so possible, so powerful. So I can be a tiny little company of one, but I can make the noise of a pretty big company online. And I'm living proof of that. I have really developed myself online and become a household name in my industry. And other mom entrepreneurs can do that too. So I think, you know, the idea of home businesses like, you know, Avon or Party Light or Pampered Chef or a lot of the different direct sales businesses that are, I'm not knocking it, they're great, they're out there. Those are helping women get started making money on their own terms. And there's a, you know, prescribed path for them to do it. I don't work with them as much as I do people who start companies from scratch that aren't franchises, that aren't part of a larger corporation. They're really creating what they do on their own. So it's been an amazing time, and I think we can do that because of the technology.
And what has the response been to the book? So I want to know about I want to know so many things. I want to know about how your process was in creating the book and writing the book, and if it was just a walk in the park, or, you know, so what would you like to talk about, the book or the response or both?
Both.
Okay, great. Let's go.
Well, the response has been amazing because we've been in Inc.com, we've been in FastCompany.com. We're being featured all over the place, and on TV and print. We're getting tons of radio interviews. And here's the funny thing. The first word in the title is moms. And guess who interviews us the most? Men.
Oh.
Guess who buys the book? People who do not have ovaries, as well as people who have ovaries.
Well, there
and
you
they
go.
may be women, and they may be mothers, and they may not be, and they may be dads. And so we're finding, what people find is this is a do-it-yourself coaching book. And if you've ever worked with a coach is a person that's going to pull some questions out of you because it's all about your own personal knowledge. You know what you need to do. You just need someone to help you be honest about it.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of stay-at-home moms, as we both know, and and you said they're leaving the corporate world in droves. Are men doing that? And you said they're the ones who are reading the book. I'm reading this book.
Well, I'm just saying, this is the feedback that we're getting is all of these people read. When I spoke at Brand Camp University back in October, I sold more of my books to men because it was a more majority male audience.
Are they going to? You think they're going to funnel that to their mates?
They didn't. Only one of them said they were buying it, and only one had me inscribe it for his wife. And the rest, I mean, because, you know, it's life lessons. And what the book is all about, you know, there are a million books on the shelves about entrepreneurship and small business and the nuts and bolts of business plans. You can find that anywhere, so why would we put that in our book? What we were missing in our book is how to have a successful company and a happy life without sacrificing everything for the idea that success starts with a dollar sign and ends with multiple zeros.
Well, I can see where
there
I
are
would
a lot
buy
of ways to define it.
I can see where I would buy this as a man then, so that would help me to understand this a lot better.
Yeah.
Whether I did it at all myself, it's more to understand this.
It is. Well, and it's more to understand the way you're going to be successful.
Right.
The first step is actually defining what success means to you. Because the media your spouse, your family, your partner, your friends, people you read in magazines, those are people that have been teaching you what you think success means.
And that's a very interesting point, because in a very male-dominated world that, no offense, Dennis, I'm glad you're here, but at the same time, when you look historically at business and you look at the number of CEOs and people who are in control of business, it's been very much male. So we have to say there's a male model for how we think things should be structured, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And what I hear you talking about is this blending.
Yeah.
It's blending.
And for, it's becoming more of a gender neutral issue, this idea of wanting to have a really powerful life, a great life, where it's not just dominated by your C-suite office achievements or your bank account achievements. Max Schrierson hit the news, big, ginormous news story, multi-million-dollar guy, left his job because he got a note from his daughter pointing out how many things in her life he'd missed out on and how it was hurting her. He was like, this sucks.
I can relate to that. I don't necessarily need to be in control. I don't care. I just want to pay my bills, and I want to be happy and enjoy my family and my friends. And especially as I get older now, it's like, who cares? If there are people out there, wherever they're from, if they've got the brains and the know-how, if it's going to make our world a better place, so be it. Of course, I'm giving my opinion. I don't necessarily need to do that. So what you're doing is opening the doors for people to do this, to apply their skills and their knowledge.
We give permission a lot. This is one of the things our clients come back, they're like, that's so funny. You guys give permission to say that, part of my success plan is putting a healthy home-cooked dinner on the table by about 6:30, 5 nights a week, because that's actually in my business plan. Now, you won't meet many people that will have that, but I can tell you, I don't care what anybody else thinks. That's important to me. And it's one of the ways I determine that I am a successful mom entrepreneur. Okay, so if you wanted me to be a really successful entrepreneur by traveling 5 days a week away from my family, that might work for some people, and I might make a god-awful lot of money doing it. But I got to tell you, that wouldn't feel successful to me. I would be broken if that were it.
Absolutely.
So,
well, I have to say that I'm going to give permission now for a break. So we're going to take just a short break, but stay tuned for more information from Lara Galloway.
Bravo. Bravo.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw on the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Dennis Newbacher.
I'm Chris Benson. Joining us today is Lara Galloway, business owner, mom, and co-author of Moms Mean Business. She liked it when I did that last time. A guide to creating a successful company and a happy life. I love that last
You do
part.
this. Right?
As a mom entrepreneur.
My mom should have been paid a couple $100,000 a year.
Oh, absolutely.
She worked her tail off, excuse my language, to raise us. She's remarkable. You know, moms are the greatest.
That's right. So you're a mom and an entrepreneur and doing all these things you're doing, coaching, mentoring, all these things, and managed to write a book somehow in that process as well with a co-author.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so the super funny thing is, I mentioned how technology makes things really possible that wouldn't be possible for us otherwise. Well, my co-author, Erin Babler, lives in Seattle. We're here in Michigan. Erin and I started writing this book back in 2010. We've never met each other over the 4 years that we started writing the book. We never met each other until August, I believe it was 28th, this past summer, when we flew out together to meet in LA to shoot a video trailer for our book.
Neat.
That was the first. We met on Friday. We shot the video all day on Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like we knew each other because we initially met back in 2009 when I started a mastermind group, a virtual mastermind group for life coaches, for women life coaches, because my husband moved us to Canada for 3 years. And while we were there, I was just so lonely. I didn't know anybody. I wasn't connected to any like groups or communities. Yeah. So Erin was part of the mastermind, and we wound up, we worked together for 6 months or something and then didn't talk. And she came back and said, I just want to let you know, I've had this like dream. It's my bucket list that I'm going to be a published author. And I've been thinking what I want to write about, and it's all about mom entrepreneurs. This is the thing that really calls me. But she's like, you do more, like that's your bread and butter, that's where you live, you always coach mom entrepreneurs. I've been coaching women in transition, so I kind of need some help on like the material of it, because if we can work together, I think we can have that great synergy. I was like, oh my God, this is a dream come true. This is the best thing ever. So we started writing the book in 2010, kind of didn't pay much attention to it. We were doing research. We would reach out and get people to tell us their stories. We were compiling the stories, sorting it a bunch of different ways. Well, it kind of didn't feel like I was writing a book. I mean, one day my husband overheard me on the phone talking to somebody, and he's like, did you just say you're writing a book? And I was like,
in my spare time, in all that spare time I have,
Yeah, and that was kind of the thing, like, how are you possibly going to get that done? And I'm like, yeah, kind of, it's in the background. Well, then we decided to shop around and get an agent. We got her a couple of days later. Then she worked with us.
I actually think that's a really good idea. Agent that helps out.
You're not going to, unless you're a celebrity, much more powerful than I am in the world, you're not really going to get the attention of a traditional publisher if you don't have an agent, if you're a first-time author.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we mean
That's
nothing
good to
to
remember.
them.
Yeah.
So the agent was absolutely the broker that got us in the door. And she worked with us to revise our proposal from November to February. We got our proposal done, shopped it around, and the first week we got a publisher. So we were floored. And that was February 21st. We inked the deal with a publishing company on March 15th, and we had to turn in 56 to 58,000 words by May 15th, 2 months. So that book was written almost entirely in 2 months.
And just like a mom, because you just mentioned 3 specific dates that occurred over 2 years ago, and you know it like it's in your brain, just imprinted.
I don't remember exactly what time my children were born. I've got the birthdays down, but like what time of day, I'm a little fuzzy.
Yeah, my wife will remember our first kiss, as a matter of fact.
The time, the date, was it raining outside? Was it, So you, not only the book, but you have quite a social media presence, I understand, as well.
I do. Again, thanks to technology, I'm able to market myself and reach my target audience in a way that there's no way I could do if I had to pay for marketing and PR and advertising like a big company does. I couldn't afford it. I mean, most small business owners are bootstrapping, right? And I can't, as a mom, take on a huge ton of debt as a risk. That doesn't really work in my family's lifestyle. So for me, social media has been an awesome way for me to connect with people. So I'm known as Mom Biz Coach online. I'm on Twitter. I have over 25,000 followers.
Wow.
That's incredible.
I do a podcast, an on-demand radio show on Blog Talk Radio. I've done that for almost 6 years. January will be 6 years.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, too. I mean, you wrote the book, and it's popular. Your Twitter, you're on with podcasts and so on. people could see right through that, can't they, Lara?
Mhm.
If you don't have anything, if the lights are on and you don't have anything to say, you're done.
That's true, but I think that's the beauty of social media. Is it's a pretty authentic platform. Now there are people who use it the wrong way, but it's a pretty authentic platform. So it's all about relationships, and I get to meet people and build relationships with them, and that's what starts the ball rolling. I mean, they're not, hey, I'm looking for a great book to read. They're like, oh, hey, you're Lara, what do you do? And then we start talking and we build a relationship, and then things like the book or hiring me as a coach or having me as a speaker comes along as a development from that relationship.
And you would have not continued with this if you didn't feel you were going to be successful and you're going to make some money. I'm assuming you're doing relatively well. And I mean, okay, good. Or you wouldn't be doing this.
Well, it's not a business. If
that's right.
I've been doing this since 2005. I would have had
But
to
a lot
give
of
up.
people struggle to do that. They don't have family members that support them like you sound like you have.
That is huge. That is huge. I have got like rock solid support. The fact that my husband is absolutely the breadwinner in our family and that he does provide and take care for us, and that is like solid.
What is
makes
your
it so
husband's name,
easy.
by the way? What's his first name?
Richard.
Richard. Okay, Richard. Here you go.
That's right.
Good.
Big plug for him.
You bet.
And then I have Charlie, Paul, and Ellie are my 3 kids.
Oh, good.
And
how old are they, just out of curiosity?
Charlie's 12, Paul is 10, and Ellie's 8.
Okay, so that gives you an idea what you're dealing with at home and what you also have to do as a mom, which is your first job.
Well, but you know, like I just feel so lucky because we finally crossed over, and the kids are like so fun. They're so helpful. Like they help me when I had to clear the dining room table and work for heads down for 2 weeks on getting the book manuscript due. They were so great. They would come by. Ellie would come give me hugs. Charlie would come by and give me hugs. Mom, can I get you anything? Paul would be like, Mom, do you want some coffee? Can I make you coffee? And I would say, guys, I'm busy. I've got to write, make dinner.
Yeah, but this is an educational environment, don't you think? This
well,
is a
you're
learning
teaching
experience.
them such an important message because you're teaching them, not only am I your mom and I've got that taken care of, I'm taking care of myself too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you said that because
Yeah.
if I don't make myself happy, who will?
Right.
And I think that is a really cool message for me to get to model for my kids. And even setting a boundary, like I'm there for them all the time, but once in a while saying, you know what, I need you to support me because I support you all the time. And it lets them feel so helpful, which is cool.
And we know your website. It's www.laragalloway.com.
Yes.
Yes?
Right.
And
Yes.
it's GALLOWAY.com.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we have enjoyed the time with you. It went by so
you.
fast.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us here today.
Thanks,
and
guys.
thank you all for being here with us today. To learn more about Lara, again, it's laragalloway.com.
You betcha. Thanks for joining us.